The World Cup semifinals are officially here, and the first match we got is France against Spain. Oh my gosh, this is a crazy match. Guys, we did preview videos for every single match in the quarterfinals, and you guys absolutely love them. I feel like you guys love to hear me talk about football in a more calm and a less edited video. So guys, once again, we will be bringing you guys the previews to the semi-final matches. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the game between France and Spain, and in tomorrow's video, we'll be talking about the Argentina versus England game. Now guys, starting off with this France against Spain game, this is going to be a very close game, and I feel like in both of these games there are many different things at stake, but in this game I feel like the main difference between these two teams is one of them is a very possession heavy focused team that are less clinical in the attack, while the other team is a very clinical team in the attack. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter if they have more possession or less possession, because you know that they will 100% score. And those two teams are, like I already mentioned, France and Spain, guys. So like we do in all my other preview videos, we're going to start off by talking about France, then we'll talk about Spain, and then we'll give my overall preview to this game. So guys, starting off with France, honestly, in my opinion, they've been the best team in this World Cup. There's no doubt about it, guys. At the start of this World Cup, I had France winning the whole World Cup, and I'm sticking by that. I think France do have the best chance to win this whole World Cup, and the main reason for that is the starting 11, this attack. It's absolutely insane, guys. If you showed me this attack in any year that I've watched football, whether it's 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would always say that this is probably the best attack in the world. The lineup of attackers that this France team has is absolutely insane, guys. And that's where we need to start off, because realistically, that is the best part of their team. You look at a player like Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's barely gotten any minutes this World Cup already. And he's a great player. But then you look at the other players they have: Kylian Mbappe, Marcus Thuram, Ousmane Dembele, the current Ballon d'Or winner and the player who may win it for the second time in a row, Bradley Barcola, Aklius, Desiree Doué, Michael Olise, Ryan Cherki. Bro, it's crazy, bro. This France attack, and honestly, this whole entire team is absolutely insane. And I feel like Didier Deschamps, yes, he's been a good manager with this France national team through 2018, 2022, and now in 2026. But to be honest, he's been blessed with this team, because the teams he's been given the opportunity to coach are absolutely insane. Because let's stop glazing this France team and let's look at how they've been performing so far in this World Cup. Now, I did briefly go over it in my semi-final prediction video, and to be honest, guys, I think they've been the best team so far. If you look at the start of the tournament in the group stages, they beat Senegal 3-1, Iraq 3-0, Norway 4-1, and so far in the knockout stages, they beat Sweden 3-0, Paraguay 1-0, and Morocco 2-0. So they still have not conceded a goal so far in the knockout stages. And in this whole tournament, they've only conceded 2 goals while scoring, I think it's 16 goals, 3, 4, 6, and then 10, 16 goals. Crazy. And I feel like that may be an area that some people are not realizing with this France team, because everyone always talks about their attack. Everyone says their attack is incredible, their attack will win them the World Cup. But we also have to look at how good they've been in the midfield and in the defense. Even Mike Maignan has been good too. And guys, coming into this tournament, a lot of people were saying that players like Digne, players like Koundé were going to be the weak links in this France team. And yes, I do think they are still the weakest position on this team, because let's be honest, both of their fullbacks have been very good in this World Cup. Digne, I did not expect anything from him coming to this World Cup, but he's been good in most games he played. Same with Koundé, and even in the midfield, you look at Rabiot and Tchouameni, or recently it's been Kone, they've been good as well. And that's the thing with this France team, is they just have so much balance, guys. They have an incredible attack with incredible pace, players who can pass the ball, can shoot the ball, can dribble with the ball. They can do everything. But then in the midfield and the back line, that's where they really have that physical aspect that a lot of other teams don't have. If you look at this France midfield, guys, whether it's Kone, Tchouameni, Rabiot, Kanté, whoever it is, they are all some of the most physical midfielders in the world, and that definitely plays to France's advantage. And I want to really look at their most recent game against Morocco, guys, because this game was a domination by France, guys. And Morocco, I said coming to this game, were one of the best teams in this World Cup. Look what Morocco did in this game. They didn't create shit. Absolutely nothing. When France, on the other hand, had almost 4 expected goals, 22 total shots, 8 on target. They scored 2 of them. They probably could have scored 3 or 4. So what does that tell you? That tells you that, first of all, this France attack creates loads and loads of chances. And even against a Spain team who, yes, have kept almost a clean sheet in every single game, France will still create chances, at least a few. But not only that, also their defense, guys, because Morocco have scored in every single game they played. They've been scoring multiple goals in a lot of games. And yes, I know they didn't have Saibari, and Wabi obviously went for a little bit of a rotated lineup, a little bit of a different attacking three, obviously with El Khanous playing at the striker position and Talbi playing on the left side. But even though, guys, the France center backs and fullbacks were very, very good in this game, and that's why they really limited Morocco to only a few chances in the whole 90 minutes. But enough talking about France, guys. Let's talk about the other team, Spain, because Spain so far in this World Cup have been very, very good. And the thing that Spain also have over this France team is the recent results, guys. If you look at this France versus Spain fixture over recent years, first of all, we saw both of these teams come up against each other lastly in the Nations League, which was a crazy game, 5-4, 9 total goals scored. It was absolutely insane match. If you didn't watch it, you really missed out. But the main game I want to look at more was in the last Euros, guys. Now, Spain got the 2-1 win. And the reason why they won that game is because of the main man, Lamine Yamal, guys. Lamine Yamal got the goal. We saw the other goal from Dani Olmo, but Spain really showed in this game that they were clinical. They had only 6 shots. This game was very limiting on both sides in terms of shots, but Spain were able to put away the slightest of chances that they got. And that's why they won this game. And now if we talk about Spain so far in this World Cup, yes, they've been very, very good, guys. Defensively, they've been absolutely incredible. Like I already said, guys, they've been the best team defensively so far in this World Cup. They've only conceded 1 goal in 6 games. They kept a clean sheet in all the 3 group stage games. And then in the knockout stages, for the first 2 games against Austria and Portugal, they also kept a clean sheet. But against Belgium, they did concede 1 goal. But still, guys, defensively, Spain have been a very, very strong team. Laporte, Cubarsí, Pedro Porro, Cucurella, they've been fantastic this tournament. And I feel like coming to this tournament, a lot of people didn't think that Spain's defense was actually that good. I always thought it was decent, but a lot of people were kind of trashing on Spain's defense a little bit. I didn't really get it, but look at them so far. They've been the best defense in the tournament. But guys, against Belgium, I actually thought that you saw a slight weakness in the Spain back line, and I feel like I've noticed it throughout multiple games that they've played. And that is that their center backs, especially Laporte and Cubarsí, for how good they are, for how good they pass the ball, for how good they are on the front foot, when it comes to overhead balls, long balls, set pieces, that is where they really struggle. And especially against players who can get headers, like a player like Charles de Ketelaere. We saw obviously in that goal in the 41st minute for Belgium, we saw him dunk on Cubarsí. Cubarsí was guarding him, ball was in the air, and he just gets his head over Cubarsí and scores the goal. And that's the way that I thought that Belgium would score in this game, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Now, like I said, the Spain team is still phenomenal. This defense is absolutely incredible, but they do have weaknesses. Now, in the midfield, I think it is fair to say that Spain's midfield has been one of the best in this World Cup. Rodri looks back to his best. He's been incredible in this World Cup. He's put in great performances in every single game. For me, I would probably give him about an 8 out of 10 performance in every single game he's played. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Now, the player beside him, whether it's Fabian Ruiz, but majority of the time, Pedri, I think they've been pretty good. But I think Rodri has definitely been the main heartbeat in that midfield. But it'll be very interesting to see what De La Fuente decides to do in this game against France. Whether he'll play Fabian Ruiz, a player who, in my opinion, is slightly better going forward and obviously did score that goal, very important goal against Belgium. Or will he play a player like Pedri, who is very technical, who is kind of a little bit more of a box-to-box type of player? It'll be very interesting to see what De La Fuente decides to do. But where is Spain's weakness in this game? Guys, in my opinion, it's the attack. I do think that Spain's attack is a weakness. And the reason for that is because you look at all the teams left in the World Cup. You look at the 4 teams. You look at France, you look at their difference makers. They have Mbappe, they have Dembele, they have Olise, they have at least 3 difference makers. You look at England, they have Kane, they have Bellingham, they have at least 2 difference makers. You look at Argentina, they have Messi. You can't get any better than Messi. But you look at Spain, and starting at the start of the tournament, coming to this tournament, you would think it was Lamine Yamal. And that's why I referenced the Spain versus France game in the Euros, where Lamine Yamal was a difference maker. And he was a difference maker throughout many games of that incredible Spanish Euros run. But so far in this World Cup, I don't think Lamine Yamal has been at his best. And so far, since his hamstring injury, I do feel like he's been lacking in certain areas on the pitch, especially his final product, the final shot, and the final pass. Now, yes, you can always rely on players like Oyarzabal, who has gotten goals so far in this tournament. It's fair to say we saw it in the group stages. He got a couple goals, and we saw against Austria, he also got a couple goals. But I feel like he's also missed many amazing chances. That one chance always comes back to my mind where he was through on goal and he missed the whole entire net. I'm like, bro, what is this guy doing? Against Portugal, you cannot miss a chance like that. Daniel Olmo, he's been okay, but he has been a little bit inconsistent, and same with Baena. Now, obviously, guys, if we go back to the Euros, we saw Nico Williams. Nico Williams has been suffering from a few injuries this season, and he hasn't looked at his best, so De La Fuente has been playing Baena, but in my opinion, I don't think Baena has been that same type of impact player that Nico Williams was, guys. We all remember in that Euros, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal was a dynamic duo. And France have that with a player like Mbappe and Olise. Olise getting already 5 assists in this tournament, and Mbappe getting almost 10 goals and multiple assists as well. But Spain don't really have those same difference makers in the attack, which I do think will make it difficult for them to score in this game. Now, as for my preview for this game, guys, obviously at the time of recording this video, this game is being played tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What do I think will happen in this game? Where can this game be won? Now, guys, like I already mentioned, France have the difference makers. Spain, in my opinion, don't. Not to say they have a bad team, but I just don't think they have the level of difference makers that France have. And that's why at the start of the World Cup, I predicted France to win the whole thing, because for me, I think they have the most difference makers, especially in the attack. But guys, where Spain will dominate this game, it's definitely in the midfield. We've seen it in every single game so far, and I think we will see it in this game. I would expect Spain to have at least 60% possession, possibly even 65%, because we know how well they are holding possession, whether it's with the center backs, the full backs, and especially the midfielders in Rodri or Pedri or Fabian, whoever it is. They're all great at holding possession, but where Spain really struggle is their clinicalness in the attack. And that's why we saw in many games, they need at least 10 to 15 shots just to score one single goal. When France, on the other hand, they can have 3 shots and they can score 3 goals, once again, because of the difference makers like I mentioned. And I feel like Didier Deschamps won't instruct his team to go out there and try and hold possession, to press Spain really high. I don't think they'll do that. I think they will actually be comfortable in letting Spain have majority of the possession, because France know on that counterattack, on the transition, and yes, Spain are very good, but they can still score goals because of players like Mbappe, Olise, Dembele, and the rest. Now, if a player like Lamine Yamal has a good game, Spain will win this game. Because, guys, like I said, the France fullbacks in Koundé and Digne, particularly Digne, because he's going to be guarding Lamine Yamal. Digne's been good, but I still think that is a weak point for this France team. So if Lamine Yamal can show up in this game, which we've seen him do in finals, in top tier games in the past, then he can score in this game and he can single-handedly win this game for Spain. But he needs to have a good performance, because I don't see Baena doing it on the other side. Even if it's Nico Williams, from what I've seen from him, I don't see him doing that. I don't see Oyarzabal getting the chances to score goals against the likes of Saliba and Upamecano, 2 very good, very physical fullbacks, especially with Rabiot and Kone around him. I don't really see Oyarzabal and Olmo getting those type of chances. So I think if Spain want to win this game, Lamine Yamal needs to get a goal. They need to rely on him, and he must perform. Now, how will France win this game? I think, contrary to popular belief, a lot of people would maybe think that their wide players need to perform. I actually don't think it's necessarily their wide players. Players like Doué, Bacola, Dembele. I think it's more in the middle. I think this France attack can punish this Spanish defense in the middle. Now, yes, I still think they need help from the wide players, but I think both Pedro Porro and Cucurella have been very, very good in this World Cup. So I actually think, guys, this France team will be able to punish the Spain team through the middle, through Olise, through Mbappe, through finding passes through the tight spaces. Because like I said, we know Cubarsí and Laporte are very, very good, but long balls over the top, that is where France can punish Spain. Guys, we know Olise on the spin, he can spin any defender in the world. I can see Olise spinning Cubarsí right now, playing a ball over the top, over Laporte, and Mbappe with his pace gets onto it and slots the ball past Simon. I could see that goal happening 100%, guys. So that's where I think this game will be won and lost for both teams. In terms of managers, I think both managers are pretty good. I think their in-game tactics are fairly good as well. but I think Didier Deschamps with the experience will have too much for Luis de la Fuente. So guys, with that being said, I do think France are the favorites to win this game. In my prediction video, I predicted France to win, and for my preview for this game, I think Spain can score. I do think Spain can score, but will they have the volume of shots that they've been getting in other games? I don't think so. And if they're not clinical in the attack, which we haven't really seen from them so far in this World Cup, I think it might be a struggle for them. And therefore, I think France will score more. So I think both teams will get on the score sheet. But guys, I do think France will win the semi-final matchup. But that is the end of this video, guys. I think France will get to the final, and who they will verse in the final, that will be in my preview video tomorrow, where I will be talking about England against Argentina. But guys, as always, if you enjoyed this preview video, if you've been enjoying all the World Cup content, the reactions, the predictions, the previews, the live streams, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for tomorrow's video.